Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be chewing on Ralph Waldo Emerson's quote: "We are always getting ready to live, but never living." Damn, isn't that something else? I mean, how many people um, are on their deathbed and the thing that they're filled with most is regret for not tasting that thing or going on that trip or loving this person or having some experience that they talk themselves out of. You know, of a fully lived life is full of experience that you allow yourself to have, plain and simple. You know, when you're always getting ready and never arriving, you are analysis paralysis is bitch. You know, you're afraid to fail. You're afraid to get caught in the messy middle. But here's the thing: life is a messy middle, right? Birth, messy middle, death, right? How can you make your messy middle acceptable to you? Like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I tried that. Oh man, if you're afraid to fail, then you're in some future moment that hasn't even happened. That means what? You're not present. Um, and I talk a lot about this. When I used to do massage, uh, people's body would tell me that they were living, some part of their body was holding this past trauma or drama. Now, I'm not belittling the drama or the trauma. What I'm saying is that the person couldn't deal or cope with the drama or trauma, so they had to put it somewhere. Because if you don't deal with it on an emotional, spiritual, or mental, psychological plane, your body has to do something with it. So it will like hide it in the back of your knee or your big toe or your neck, or, it shows up as headaches or whatever. Life is a messy middle. The whole thing is a messy middle, and it's perfectly fine. Some things that you will be totally successful with. Other things you have to have a couple of tries before you get it right. It's no different than, jumping double dutch. Like, you're not going to get it right every time. It's not going to be pretty while you learn. But once you get the hang of it, you could really flow with it. Everyone has to be a beginner at something. And for some reason, in society, we have this thought process that we are not supposed to be beginners, or we're not supposed to look like, quote unquote fools or whatever. Like, I never forget it. My mother, my mother worked outside of the home, and she only knew one way home. And this is back in the day when she called me on a payphone because the subway or something wasn't working, and she had to call me to figure out how to get home because she only knew one way home. And she would walk down the street, realize halfway down the block that it was the wrong street. And because she didn't want to walk past the people that she just walked past, she didn't want to be embarrassed because then they would know that she was walking down the same street. She would continue to walk down the wrong street, and then try to figure out and get her bearings. It was crazy pants how she did this. I learned to do this, learn behavior, right? She's the first teacher. So I would walk down the street and do the same thing. And I was just like, wait a minute, this is stupid. First of all, if you ever walk the streets in New York City, there's a lot of streets and there's a lot of sidewalk. And before you get to where you're going, you're going to be good and tired. And at the very least, late and sweaty if it's hot enough or cold enough or whatever. Like, it's just like not something you want to do. I was just like, this is dumb. Why am I doing this? And so I just, I had to unlearn that, right? You cannot be afraid of making quote unquote mistakes. There are no mistakes. There are no failures. The only failure is when you stop trying to achieve that goal. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't change the goal, but damn it, if you decide that you want something and you go down the avenue to figure it out, you don't stop just because it's hard. You can stop if you're not interested, but you can't stop just because it's hard. No, we're not finna do that. You can't not live. I mean, you can, but I'd like it to be that you live life like you mean it. You tried it, you saw it, you did it, so that when you lay down on your deathbed, the one thing that you ain't got are regrets.